Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello students. In this video, we'll continue the chapter Improvement in Food Resources. As I told you in my previous video that human beings obtain the food from agriculture as well as from animal sources. And to meet the requirement of growing population, there is a need that we have to improve the quantity as well as the quality of food which we produce from the given land resources. Now we have already discussed the first part, that is crop variety improvement, how we can improve the variety of the crop which we are producing. Now this section of the video will deal with two other methods, that is crop production improvement and crop protection management. Okay, so let's begin. First, crop production management. That is, when the crops are growing, at that time we have to nourish the crops so that we get better yield. Alright, so controlling various aspects of crop production for best yield. Now, in the yield actually is directly proportional to the inputs. In India, we have some farmers are poor and they have very small pieces of land, while on the other hand there are big farmers with big pieces of land. So the small farmers, they do not have enough money to buy inputs like high yielding variety of seeds or latest tools and machines and such other factors. Now on the other hand, the large farmers, they can afford to buy better latest seeds, latest fertilizers, manure, latest technology, machines and tools. So when they put higher inputs, actually in return they get higher yield. So we say that higher inputs actually lead to higher yield. So in India actually there are three types of production practices depending upon the financial conditions: the no cost, low cost and high cost production. Okay, so if you are putting low input, the yield will also be lower, and if you are putting higher inputs, the yield will also be higher in that case. So production management means when the crops are growing, we are providing it nourishment, we are providing it water, and we are taking care of the crops for better quality and better quantity of the crops. So it includes three things. First is nutrient requirement, next irrigation, and third cropping pattern. So under crop production method, we will discuss all these three factors in detail. So first is nutrient management. Now, as you know that while you are growing up, your mother tells you to drink milk and eat healthy food, because we all need nutrients for our healthy, to stay healthy and to stay disease free. Similarly, plants also need nutrients for their good growth, for reproduction, for better germination and to stay disease free. So the nutrients, what are nutrients? They are inorganic elements which are obtained by the plants through air, water and soil. There are three sources from which the plants obtain the nutrients: air, water and soil. Total 16 nutrients are essential for the plants. Air, first of all air, it is a source of carbon as well as oxygen. So two nutrients obtained from air are carbon and oxygen. Then comes water. Water is source of hydrogen as well as oxygen. So total 3 nutrients are obtained from air and water. Rest, out of 16, rest 13, they are obtained from the soil. Okay, so that is why a good fertile soil is very important for the growth of the crops. Now these nutrients which we obtain, which the plants obtain from the soil, can be divided into two categories: macronutrients and micronutrients. So as the name suggests, macro means larger quantity, micro means smaller quantities. So the 6 nutrients, they are utilized by the plants in large quantities and they are called macronutrients. These are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur, these 6. Next, micronutrients. Out of these 13, 6 are macro, rest 7 are micronutrients. These include iron, manganese, boron, zinc, copper, molybdenum and chlorine. These are 7 micronutrients. Now deficiency of any these nutrients affect the physiological process like reproduction or growth, or how profusely it is growing, how fast it is growing, and whether it is disease resistant or not. All these physiological process depend upon the availability of these nutrients. So nutrients can be added to the soil in the form of manure and fertilizers, because once the crops are grown, these crops take up the nutrients from the soil. So the nutrient level of the soil decreases. It has to be replenished. Okay, we need to add more nutrients so that the next lot of crops get enough nutrients from the soil.